So
Bus is about to drop some heat on me right now. I can already see it.
I'm gonna give you. You'll never here. I'll show some like little stuff like Roger Federer,
Amazing.
2003
Amazing.
PSA DNA rookie net pro. Um,
Are you heavy on tennis? Is that like your thing?
I love tennis. I'm
Yeah.
not crazy about it. I just have like a lot of. I don't even know what I have here, but here's what I wanted to show you. You'll
Yeah.
never guess. It's not a sport,
Okay.
but I consider it sports cards. I've only sent it in the chat one time,
Okay.
and nobody said
I
anything
must have
about it.
overlooked this. All right.
Nobody said anything about it when I did. I've explained this to other people privately, but I so I there's a completely separate market in collectibles, especially I wouldn't even call it politics, but I would call it just in presidents in general. There's a really, really big collector community when it comes to presidents.
Wow. I had no idea.
These right here, they look like cards. They're
Yeah.
in PSA DNA cases, and I have them signed by a bunch of presidents. So this is Jimmy and Rosalind Carter,
Wow.
President and First Lady. Here we have Bill Clinton, dated and signed to
Is there anything on the back or is it just
2016.
stuff?
These are note cards for the most part.
Wow. Wow.
They look at the size between this Charizard and this card. They're the same size. They
That's
look like
unreal.
cards.
I was an American politics major in college, so like this is way up my alley actually.
Gerald Ford.
Wow. Dude.
Yeah, I got more. We're like Herbert Hoover.
Oh my God. Herbert, that's like
This was cut out of a letter that he sent.
holy shit. You are like literally holding history.
George Bush first.
Yep. Yep.
Here, I got one more.
What got you into this?
How
did you put up organically like fall into
this
this?
is a signed check from Benjamin Harrison from 1899.
Oh my God.
So let me explain though. Let me give a little bit more context as to why I'm doing this when nobody else is.
You blew my mind, dude. Like you blew my mind right now.
Essentially, I look at them just like cards. There have only been 45 presidents. So 45 presidents, 450 NBA players times 60 seasons. There are 45 presidents. They have the most power. They're the most famous, and some of them don't sign that much. And a lot of the guys, especially older guys, their signatures, although, so it's kind of interesting. And I say this every time because the newer the president, the more recent the president was in office, from Clinton to Trump, the rarer the autograph is.
Why is that?
Because everything they do is digital. So Obama, it's almost impossible to find an Obama autograph because he didn't sign anything. Everything was digital. Whereas back in the day, like a Lincoln autograph is 10 times more expensive than an Obama, granted, but there's a chance that there are more Lincoln autographs out there than Obama's because Lincoln used to say like sign a thank you note for coming to dinner or coming to breakfast.
So these are obviously cut out of other things like letters, things that they did.
Yep.
Does the source affect the price? Like if where it's cut out of changes the valuation of it?
For older guys, 100%. But for like this Bush, this is literally just an index card. Like it has there's nothing special about that. But for something like the Clinton, this was actually off a photo. You can see on the back, it's a photo.
Yeah.
So that does have some effect. Also, if they dated it, that has an effect. And if they wrote anything else, like he wrote thanks, that obviously has a little bit of effect.
Real.
But they remind me of sports cards. So the reason that I am bullish on them is that A, they're very cheap because that sports card market hasn't hit the president autograph market. B, because they look just like cards. And C, I just like it. I'm also a fan of history and presidents and not as much politics, but more so just like the whoa factor of presidents and kind of the power and impact that they had. So that is something that
I gotta tell you, like I genuinely had a wow reaction to that Woodrow Wilson card. I mean, there's just
I
something that's
love that you refer to it as a card.
yeah, whatever. Yeah. Well, there's just something really surreal about. I mean, you are literally owning a piece of American history right there. And like you said, there's just maybe it's saturated with the older guys because they signed more stuff. I don't care. There's only 45 of them. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So it's
hey,
like you said, like
and when I say saturated, I'm not talking about like LeBron rookie population. I'm talking like there are a couple hundred,
yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
as opposed to like a couple.
I'm literally buying my first presidential signature card the minute we get off this call. I'm not even kidding you. I'm gonna text you the purchase too, so you know I'm
I
not bullshitting
will.
you. Yeah.
Amazing. And
Actually, you know what's funny? I remember you sending that now in the group chat, and I remember seeing that, and I thought that was a joke, like a meme about cards, like, oh, this is the next thing that's gonna go down. And so I remember laughing and thinking, like, well, that's not real. And now to know that it is just it's mind blowing, you know?
very real. My other big guy, I'll flip through them quickly. Pikachu is
Yeah.
my guy.
Well, like, can you explain to me, for someone who did not grow up with Pikachu, it was the generation right after me, how the valuation works and how that compares to like the basketball market that
Yeah.
we're both in?
So for example, I'll just give a little bit of background context to Pokemon as a whole. It's the number one entertainment franchise of all time. It's made 90 billion in the last 20 years. Star Wars is number two at 40 billion in the last 40 years. It's a
Wow.
global brand, started in Japan in 1995, launched in the US in 1999.
Right.
This is the card that you want. This is the PSA 9 of the card. This is the Pikachu. Pikachu's the face of the brand from a character standpoint. It's Ash, who's like the trainer guy, but Pikachu's the main one.
Got it.
And then there's another guy who's pretty popular. It's Charizard. I flashed one of his cards.
These are names that I've heard forever. Obviously Pikachu, but I've heard Charizard too, and I like.
Yeah. So Charizard is the most expensive. The Charizard first edition, like this, is in a PSA 10 is 80 to 100 grand.
Why is that? Why is that card the most expensive?
Because it's from the first edition set. It's a holo, which means it's holographic. There are fewer of them, and they're very rare, highly sought after, just like anybody else. He's like the Michael Jordan or the Charizard's probably more like a Honus Wagner, whereas Pikachu is Michael Jordan. This is a first edition red cheeks. So the cheeks, as you can see here, are red, as opposed to here, let me find one that's yellow, as opposed to this one, which the cheeks are yellow.
Wow. Oh my
So
God.
red cheeks is more valuable than the yellow cheeks. This is a red cheeks first edition PSA 9. I believe they're in the range of 1,500 to 2,000 each for red cheeks 9s, and 10s are in the range of 8 to 12,000.
Wow.
So that is the context there. But to quickly go through some of the others,
Yeah.
This is the first edition of a different Pikachu set. I'll just quickly flash through so you can see all the different artwork. This is a birthday Pikachu. It's PSA 10.
Can I ask you a question about this in terms of like is there a concern ever, and maybe there's not, I don't know, about overprinting all of that? Because in theory they could do that, right? I guess they could do it with basketball cards too, though.
These are all vintage though.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
Okay.
all of them. Like these are all from 1999, the first ever print. I pretty like this. Even the other first edition ones, like these are all pretty much all 1999 or 2000, so first or second year, and that's what really protects everybody. Like they can't ever print more 1986 Jordan rookies the same way they can't print more 1999 Pikachu's.
Exactly. That's good to know.
So yeah, man.
This is a perfect example of where like someone that I know and trust, being you. Oh my God, what are those?
So Nintendo owns Pokemon. They also own a game called Mario.
Right.
And they combined the two for this one set. It's a Mario and Luigi Pikachu.
Is that just like through the roof valuation?
Not actually. I actually just bought a second set yesterday.
No way. Wow.
So I have two more on the way.
I think that we're going to see a whole series of like Nintendo cards coming out at some point too, because that's another like vintage world that I don't really see that much of.
Probably not, but I hope so. This is a cool one. This is from actually 1998, so before it launched in the US. It's all in Japanese.
Wow.
This is from a vending machine in Japan.
The
It's called
artwork, it looks different. The artwork looks different. Like,
it's called the Ueyama Pikachu, and it's from '98. Even the back is different from the normal card.
wow, dude, that's
So pretty.
unreal.
So somebody got this out of a vending machine. It's a PSA 10 in Japan in 1998, and then somehow it was able to hold up condition.
Unbelievable.
Here's another one from before it launched in the US, also in Japanese, from 1998.
Yeah.
Called the Bumblebee Pikachu because he looks like a bumblebee from up above. Let me see if there are any other special ones I want to show. This one is a cool one. This is actually the most valuable Pikachu I have.
Why is that?
It's because you might be able to see there's a tiny, tiny stamp. There's a little bit of glare, but there's a tiny stamp right there that says E3.
Okay.
And that means that it was from the very first convention in the US, and they did these special edition ones for that E3 convention. I'm sure you've heard of the actual event itself, but
Yeah.
the pop is about 50.
No, wow.
And
wow.
it's red cheeks.
Oh,
I have the yellow cheeks here too, but red cheeks is the one.